Let us take into account the phenomena of photoperiodism now, which is covered under photomorphogenesis, which is actually the effect of spectrum, white light spectrum, or the solar spectrum basically, how it is going to affect the development and growth in the plant. So when we talk about photoperiodism, we take into consideration the flowering mechanism. That is, the vegetative meristem is going to get converted to the floral meristem, and there would be flowering which is seen in the plants. That is due to some sort of spectral changes or the stimulus, that is the spectrum acts as a stimulus, the plant perceives it, and then there is flowering which is observed. So we have a few questions that come into our mind that are to be dealt with the topic photoperiodism. First one is that there is a term that gets introduced whenever we talk about photoperiodism. First thing is, there is a critical period for every plant. So what that critical period is, and on the basis of this critical period we have certain classifications. There are types of plants that we study. What are those types of plants we are going to discuss? And there is a new term, that is florigen. Because this entire topic is dedicated somewhere or other at some point to flowering of the plant, so this word somewhat related to florigen, you can just perceive that what it could be. Gen means giving rise and flori means something that would be giving rise to flower. So we are going to come to each one of them one by one. First thing is critical period, and because we are talking about photoperiodism, periodism is some timeline must be acting over there, or some periodic change must be occurring, and because the word is photo, that means it must be related to light. Now, on which light plants are dependent? It is not any artificial source of light, it is ultimately the sunlight on which plants are dependent. Please make sure, I am repeating it again, that photomorphogenesis cannot be compared with photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is another thing which is responsible for production of all the productivity on earth in the form of glucose, which takes up the energy from the light is taken up, it is stored in the chemical bonds, and then it is again dissipated out whenever used, that is in the form of glucose. In photoperiodism, energy would not be used, but there would be some influence of the spectral light that would be bringing some change in the plant, which is one of that is photoperiodism. That is why this photomorphogenesis is an entirely different phenomena that cannot be drawn parallel or kept parallel to photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a totally different phenomena. Photomorphogenesis, the light's wavelengths, different wavelengths are having different effects on the growth, and one of that is photoperiodism, which has direct contact or direct link, we can say, with the plant's flowering pattern. That is the floral transformation of the plant, that there is a vegetative period, and whenever we are saying that plant is flowering, that means it has reached the threshold of its reproductive age. So basically this photoperiodism phenomena is very important for plant reproduction. Why? Because it would result in formation of flowers. Now coming back to the topic, photoperiodism will have the length of the light duration, or I would say that you are going to see the light that is present on the entire earth, that is during the daytime, and at night the light is not available. Sunlight is available during day, and there is a variation in the day length. In the entire year you are not going to have the similar length of day. Like for instance, in the northern hemisphere you see that during the month of January, December and this February, that the beginning months of the year, the days are very short and the nights are prolonged. So you have shorter days during that period. When the summer comes, then the days are quite longer, and with advent of autumn and that season that follows, the days get shorter again. So we have solstice, winter solstice, we have summer solstice. That is your geographical knowledge, brush it up, and please remember that the day length is not uniform entire year. It is going to vary, and that day length is going to have an effect on the plant's growth patterns, especially the flowering pattern. So the critical period basically deals with how much length of the day is required by the plant for flowering, that how much sunlight it must have it must be exposed to the duration. That is the period. It is not the quality of the sunlight which is playing an important role or the intensity. It is the duration. Like if I'm saying that flower needs one entire month of 6 hours every day, that 6 hours it should be illuminated by the solar light, then it would flower. That would be the critical period of that plant. So what is critical period? It is that minimum duration of the white light that a plant must be subjected in order to make it reproductively active, so that the floral meristem gives rise to the flowers and there is flowering which is observed in the plant. So on basis of this critical period, as I said that the days can be classified short days, there are short days and long nights, and long days and short nights on seasonal basis. In the same manner, we have classification of plants as well. There are 3 types of plants, which is long day plants, short day plants and day neutral plants. We have equinoxes which occur, that is the time when the day length and night length are almost equal. So those plants which require this critical period of day length are termed as day neutral plants. Those which need long days, that means a large duration, a longer duration of white light should fall on them so that the flowering may begin, they are long day plants, and opposite to that would be short day plants. So do make sure that these long day plants would be those which would be grown in winter, but they would be flowering in almost the season that is known as spring season, when the day duration becomes longer. So long day plants are wheat. You must be knowing that wheat is grown around December. There are 2 varieties of wheat, that is December variety and January variety. Some is autumn wheat. There is one autumn wheat and then winter wheat. So that is grown during the winter season and it flowers during, if someone of you can associate with the northern plains, there is a festival known as Baisakhi which comes during April, and that is the harvest season of wheat basically. So at that time the days have grown longer. So these are the long day plants. These plants would flower only when they are provided a critical length which is longer than the normal day. That white light has to fall on these plants, which would be longer than the day neutral plants. So the critical period for these plants would be longer as compared to the short day plants. Now let's take the example of rice. Rice is grown during the monsoon season because of its water requirement, and it flowers towards the month of October, and at that time it is harvested, and during that time autumn has arrived. So during that period what has happened, the days have reduced, the nights are longer as compared to the days. So what is the critical period for these plants? It would be shorter as compared to the day neutral plants, which need an equivalent amount of day and equivalent amount of night that should be there. So the critical length for short day plants would be much shorter than the long day plants, and they need less exposure to the light. That means the duration of the light should be minimum as in the case of short day plants, and they are harvested or they would flower usually in the winter season. Now earlier it was proposed that it is the length of light, it is the length of day as we call it. It is the time during which the light falls on the leaves. Leaves is the region where the light is being perceived. Earlier it was believed that there is some hypothetical chemical present inside the leaves, like which would perceive the sunlight, the duration of it, and it would bring about flowering. But recently it is being proposed that it is not the day length which is important, it is the night length that is important, because there is a hypothetical hormone or the plant growth regulator known as florigen, which is responsible for bringing about flowering in the plants. Now what this hypothesis of florigen says is that during night the plant leaves have some hypothetical production of some hypothetical hormone known as florigen, and it is synthesized at night, which is further moved towards the apical meristem, which is then converted into floral meristem, and hence the flowering occurs. So it is not the day length, modern science says that, modern hypothesis says that it is not the day length which the plant perceives, but rather it is the night length which is crucial in giving rise to conversion of the apical meristem into the floral meristem for giving rise to the flowers. So this florigen is synthesized on the basis of the length of night instead of the day. So this is a hypothesis. It hasn't been proved completely, but yeah, there is a shift of perception that it won't be light which would be deciding when the plant is going to flower. It is basically the dark period. So we can alternatively use this as in terms of night. Those plants which are long day plants, they would be short night plants. So basically they need a shorter period for synthesis of florigen, the hypothetical hormone or the growth regulator. They would need a shorter night. Long day would automatically be a short night plant. The short day plant would be a long night plant. That means these plants need a longer night period. Dark period should be longer so that the florigen is able to convert the apical meristem into floral meristem. And the day neutral plants, it doesn't matter much how much the length is. So their critical period would be quite less in terms of dark I'm talking. So this in the beginning I told you that this term is going to be important. So you see how this has entirely changed our perception of photoperiodism. But yes, what we need to understand in photoperiodism is that it is a type of photomorphogenesis only, where the plant growth is being regulated by the spectral condition of the intensity, not the intensity, I'm sorry, pardon me. It is the spectral composition of the white light which is falling on it, and that determines the various plant development patterns. Thank you.